morning. What's left of it. Welcome. This is Sunday Morning Sketch with Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. It's still technically the morning, so this still technically counts. This morning, because it completely occurred to me at random that I wanted to draw him, I'm going to do Captain Caveman this morning. Mostly because I think he's a character that just isn't done enough. I happen to like Captain Caveman, especially in some of the later incarnations of Captain Caveman. Anywho, so I'm going to draw that dude, drink my coffee. There we go. Do the thing. Hope everyone's had a good week. Mine was decent, tiring, but decent. Alright. Captain Caveman. Yeah. My favorite version of him, and it's a show that I think is largely forgotten. It's actually not the greatest show, but it's pretty fun. Was Captain Caveman and the Teenage Angels. That was my favorite. Mostly because it was clearly Captain Caveman. They didn't change him at all. It was him in all of his wacky, bizarre glory. Cheesy jokes and same great... I think Mel Blanc did it. Anyways, the same voice actor and everything. And they thought to themselves, because, I am assuming, because there were so many teenage crime-solving cartoons happening, was all the rage. I think it was mid to late 70s when it came out, that they're going to put him, like Scooby-Doo, onto a team of teenagers who solve mysteries. Now, the greatest part about this was none of this is strange. The old pattern was a group of teenagers of various ages, their wacky sidekick, and their ridiculous vehicle of one level of ridiculousness or another. Anyways, in this case, Captain Caveman was Scooby-Doo. He was the wacky sidekick, and their vehicle was like his stone cave van, which was, I mean, really, how stoned? How stoned are you that you thought that was a really great idea? Let me adjust the camera here. Alright. Now, that being said, that wasn't the brilliant part of the show. The brilliant part of the show comes when you stop watching the show for a second and you think about what's really happening here. You have three young, beautiful teenage girls traveling around with no parental supervision with a naked caveman. This show is amazing. It's every single time I watch it, I can't stop giggling because everything is so weird. You're like, okay, wait. Not only are they traveling around with a naked caveman, I'm surprised he never beat one of them over the head and dragged them off into his cave van. Not only that, but they're traveling around in basically yet another stoner van. The Mystery Machine was essentially a stoner van. Well, this is literally a stoner van made of stone. This whole show was so wrong. I mean, it was. I just love the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny. This is the normal. And then I kept thinking about it, going like, they literally put a bunch of kind of hot young teenage girls traveling around with a caveman. I'm like, and I guess we're all supposed to assume that nothing happens. I'm not saying that it's a perverse show. I'm just saying while watching it, I just couldn't stop giggling. I was like, really? Now, hon, I'm trying to remember. Didn't he show up originally on the Flintstones? I'm trying to remember. He had an origin in something that surprised me.
Oh man, I just thought he had his own.
I could have sworn I'd heard that. I couldn't quite recall.
Let's find out.
It was an origin and I might have just gotten it wrong. I love it. She has the internet and I have questions. Of course I didn't look anything up ahead of time. I didn't even realize I was doing Captain Caveman any earlier than 4 minutes before I started the show, so...
No, he was originally done for Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels.
Was he really? That was his original show?
Yeah, Captain Caveman is a character created by Hanna-Barbera for the Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels segments of Scooby's All-Star Laugh Olympics. His design was based loosely off that of Rock Slag and Gravel Slag from Wacky Races, voiced by Mel Blanc, birthday, quote-unquote, May 21st. After being thought out by the Teen Angels, Cavey helped them solve supernatural mysteries in the Scooby-Doo style. Cavey had super strength, kept live dinosaurs in his fur, and carried a club which enabled him to fly among its other functions.
Oh, see, I got it wrong.
On the Flintstone comedy show in the early 1980s, Captain Caveman was shown living alongside the Flintstones.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah. And then the Flintstone Kids, he was the star of the show within a show with Captain Caveman and Son.
Wow, so he was actually originally from the Wacky Racers then.
He was inspired by characters from Wacky Races. He was originally done for the little segments in the Scooby-Doo Laugh Olympics. And then he was, little segments for Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels.
Wow, so I was actually like watching the origin stuff and didn't even realize it. Okay. Then that's even stranger that they thought then out of nowhere. Like he wasn't even like a super popular character. They just invented a caveman superhero to travel around with teenage girls solving mysteries.
Let's see. Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels centers on the mystery-solving adventures of the Teen Angels, Brenda, Dee Dee, and Taffy, and their friend Captain Caveman, or Cavey for short. A prehistoric caveman whom the girls discovered and thawed from a block of ice. The concept and general plot for the show was seen as a parody of Charlie's Angels. It also borrowed heavily from other Hanna-Barbera shows as Scooby-Doo, Josie and the Pussycats, and others. Let's see. Captain Caveman's powers included super strength, variety of useful objects hidden inside his hair, and a club that allowed him to fly and from which pop out different tools he uses to fight crime. And thank you, because that's where also, I'm guessing that's where Inspector Gabby got a lot of his weird stuff from.
It makes you wonder.
His trademark battle cry of Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman! I love that. To this day, it's like one of my favorite battle cries.
Honestly, I put it as a ringtone if it wouldn't scare the crap out of me when it was quiet.
Oh yeah, no kidding. That would be like emotional terrorism, having that thing come out of nowhere. You're sitting there, you're stretching out, you're eating some melted cheese or whatever you do, and you're like, oh.
That's the reason why I shut down. I took off my one ringtone of Goofy's Scream. Because it scared the crap out of me one day when I was at work and it was a quiet day. And somebody texted me in the middle of the day and that sucker made my heart rate jump like crazy. Because it's really quiet and the music was, I had like some little, like low-key jazz playing and all of a sudden out of nowhere, that just made it that much more funny and yet terrifying at the exact same moment.
That is awesome. There's one I always wanted. I found this great recording. It was on some album Vincent Price did, and it was one of his like, and it would just build on for like 20 seconds, and I'm like, what a great ringtone to have this like ghoulish Vincent Price laugh just coming out of like your pants pocket.
Well, just let me know. I can make can afford it.
I don't even know if I can find that recording anymore. I just found it at one point and was like, that would be amazing, you know, and...
Well, you know me, if I can't find it, it doesn't exist.
Well.
Let's see, what else? A total of 40 11-minute episodes ran for 3 seasons from 1977 to 1980. 16 episodes were produced as segments of Scooby's All-Star Laugh Olympics in 1977. 8 episodes were produced as segments of Scooby's All-Stars in 78. And 16 episodes were produced in 80 when Captain Caveman and the Teenagers were given their own half-hour show, which combined new episodes and reruns from 1977 to 79. Cavey and the girls also participated in sporting competitions as part of the Scooby Doobies team on the half-hour Laugh Olympics segment. Like many animated series created by Hanna-Barbera in the 70s, the show contained a laugh track, one of their last productions to do so. Cool.
Yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit more anatomy to him because I'm going to make him look particularly unsettled.
Oh, here we go. Captain Caveman, or Cavey for short, voiced by the awesome and all classic Mel Blanc.
Oh, yeah, he did a great job.
Is the main character of the show. He is a caveman who is thousands of years old. His exact age is never disclosed, actually. In an episode, he is carded by a doorman that is unsure Cavey is old enough, to which Captain Caveman responds, "I'll be 2 million next month."
Well, now, to be fair, he was traveling around with, like, you know, teenage girls.
Exactly.
He was going to get stopped for one reason or another.
Get a haircut, you hippie.
What now?
Get a haircut, you hippie.
Get a haircut, yep. Yeah, we can actually bring that in a little bit. No, it's actually just really funny. You try not to have, like, inappropriate thoughts while watching, but there's just something strange about this show. And the thing was, it had some good shticks to it. I legitimately watched it laughing on I'm going to watch in a late 70s, early 80s Saturday morning cartoon kind of show. And I just had it kind of running in the background when I was doing stuff, but I just couldn't help it. You just kept going like, really? You know, it would be different if it was like, you know, for example, you have Scooby-Doo and the gang, and you got boys and girls. And so there's nothing kind of, you know, nothing kind of really odd other than you kind of maybe assume they're getting stoned while doing mysteries, which explains a couple things on the show. Talking dog, for example. But with this one, it's just literally, you're just talking about like a naked cave dude hanging out. You know, and I love Captain Caveman, and there's nothing like obscene about him, but you just still end up going like, really? It's like you want to hear like the corporate meetings about this stuff, you know, just go like, no one said, God, that must have been great back in those days where nobody thought that was a weird thing to do. Yeah, that's kind of like, I almost want like a reapproach, like they did with Voltron, you know, like on Netflix with Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. And just totally make it, put it in the late 70s. Make it a period piece. Do what they did with Mystery Inc. with Scooby-Doo. Add some strange secondary and third levels of stuff going on. And then you have the whole time, like really intense storyline with Captain Caveman and let me see, there was your classic 70s blonde with like the big blonde hair. There was the hot, saucy black chick. And then I think there was a younger one that was just sort of like your classic, like, little squirrely brunette, if I remember correctly.
According to Wikipedia here, Dee Dee Skies was the sole African-American and was the unofficial leader and the brains of the teenagers.
She was a good character, too. I remember liking her quite a bit.
Brenda Chance is a cowardly brunette who's always scared of the demons, monsters, and phantoms she encounters, and always tries to back out of a scary mystery. And then Taffy Dare is the blonde member of the group, renowned for her cry of "Zowie" whenever she comes up with a plan.
And she had that like squeaky kind of fun voice. Yeah, no, I liked the characters. Mm-hmm. The only design issue I had with the show was their stone cave van, which was just that was even a step over the top too far for me, you know.
Wow, what's creepy? She has the ability to seduce Captain Caveman into acting as bait for her plans and capture the culprit.
See?
She usually wears a green dress and matching shoes. She also acts as Dee Dee's second in command of the Teen Angels. It's revealed that Captain Caveman has a crush on her and vice versa.
See? Now, that's what I'm saying, is I was like watching the show at moments going like, really? And then you're kind of going like, okay, when people think 19, they immediately go safe, and they think, or teenage, they think 19. Okay, that's safe. But really, you watch the show, and anime also has an issue with this. You can't tell what teen they are at times. And I'm sitting there going like, okay, 2 of the girls are probably 18 or 19, but then you also have to think to yourself, would you think that you could get away with, like, for example, we're going to ignore the fact that he's a couple thousand years old, and we'll just say like 40. Okay, we'll just say because I'm 40. Okay, so me, with a fur cape, wearing no clothes, traveling around with an 18 and a 19-year-old girl, this immediately sounds like I'm going to get arrested. Matter of fact, that description is probably going to get me in trouble somehow on the internet. But what I'm saying here is, now Captain Caveman, and that's why I'm like watching the show the whole time, just going like, really? Really?
Well, I think at that point it's like, when you have a really old person who's smoking, at that point you're just like, let him do it. Because what more else can you do, right?
My one of my granddads was like that, and smoked until the end, and it just got, and it was one of the issues that was really causing him a whole lot of serious health concerns and a whole lot of pain and stuff. But the doctors just got to a point where they're like, he's old. It doesn't matter at this point, you know. And so that's why you kind of end up watching stuff going like, you know what? Who cares? Like, what are you gonna do? So it was cigarettes with Grandpa, and it was teenage girls with Captain Caveman. You know, what are you gonna do? They're old. You can't stand up and say, Captain Caveman, should you perhaps not travel around naked with a bunch of teenage girls? And at that point in time, all the cartoon Saturday morning executives were like, he's old. You know, you can't stop him. Why would you? I mean, who knows? He could be wearing clothes under all that body hair. I guess. You know, like, there's nothing seedy about this show. I actually really like Captain Caveman, but that show slaughtered me. I was like, what? What are you doing? Why would you do that? You know, like,
the creepy part is I'm hold on, let me check and see. Let me look at this just to make sure. Because of course in the 80s, when all the characters have kids thing, or they're the kid versions of themselves.
was this kid blonde?
That's what I'm looking to see. It's like,
oh, that would be so funny.
KB Jr. wasn't blonde, but he had little black dots for eyes, and I think Dee Dee had little black dots for eyes.
Oh, I think she did too.
Not Dee Dee.
Wow.
Tacky.
That's something. That's something very inappropriate. It's okay, he's a caveman. Wow. Wow.
Let's see. What am I going to do? KB Jr. I can see a possibility.
Really? Really? Let's see this, because I remember the character.
Well, there's Taffy.
Okay, there's Kathy.
Taffy. And there's KB Jr.
Oh wow, that's they're okay. Eric, call up the first one and hand it over. We have to show this. Okay, This is the teenage girl in which Captain Caveman and has a crush on. We're not going to talk
And
about
she has
that
a crush
element
on him
anymore.
also.
And then advice. Okay, notice the black eyes, the little dots. And I know this is fairly typical for the style. I get it. Now, call up the other one. All right. See right there. That's Captain Caveman's son, and I'm seeing a family resemblance. Now, it would be funnier if he was blonde, like he was a little blonde caveman. I would.
Oh, I would have lost that. It would have been hilarious, but I don't think they would have, because they would have had to answer the questions. The little 80s kids going, wait, is he blonde? Why is he blonde? Why doesn't he look like his dad? It's easy just to make them a clone and go with it from there. Because it's the 80s. For some bizarre reason, when things had babies, it's easier to clone them, because that way kids don't ask, where do babies come from?
Well, now, to be fair, for example, what was it?
Disney.
It was one of the Star Trek movies, one of the Next Generation ones, and they showed, and I loved this. I can't remember it because it was awful. But they actually showed Picard when he was like a teenager, and they shaved his head. You know, just so all the stupid people out there apparently would go like, wait a minute, did Picard had hair? They shaved his head, so he was apparently bald as a kid. That's that sort of dumb mentality where you're like, they literally think that their audience is so stupid.
Well, you never know. Maybe he didn't have hair as a kid. I mean, maybe he's like Charlie Brown.
Well, no, because they actually showed him on the show when he was younger and what they did was, instead of shaving his head, they actually gave him like a serious receding hairline, and it was like in darker. So they actually showed in the show that he had hair at one point in time, and he did not get into the whole hair club for men of the future. Blah blah blah. And so that's why I just kind of, it always gets me where you're like, well, of course Captain Caveman's son can have a different color hair. I mean, what is this, Disney, where they just have to flip the couple of the motifs of the parents back and forth between the kids, and because nobody can ever figure out.
Well, they didn't even do that with Disney. They just made them look, like I said, they cloned them. See, to me, even flipping would be better, because at least then it'd be like, okay, this character has the mom's eyes and the dad's hair color or something like that. With Disney, they just cloned them and made smaller versions. Like my favorite
it's
example
cute,
of
but
that is Lady and the Tramp. Love that movie, one of my favorite Disney movies. And at the end, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, when they show them at the end, you have Lady, who is a purebred Cocker Spaniel, and you have Tramp, who is a mutt. They have their babies, and you have 3 little girl Cocker Spaniels and 1 boy mutt. How the heck? If they had kids, the kids would be mutts and combined genes of their parents. They wouldn't be, look, we have full-blood Cocker Spaniel kids and then 1 mutt kid. That's some serious splicing right there.
Mm.
And like I said, as much as I love Disney, they were notorious, and as well as bunches of other cartoons of that time period were notorious for doing that, because, like I said, it's easier for kids to see that and go, oh, that's their babies, and it doesn't make kids answer the question, oh, where do babies come from? Because they go, oh, it's just little versions of themselves, as opposed to, hey, they look different from their mommy and daddy. Why do they look different from their mommy and daddy? Hey, mommy and daddy, why do they look different? Where do babies come from?
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing, is that's what I think should happen. I think that kids and parents should talk about these things.
Well, it was the 80s. They didn't talk about anything. Anything that made anybody uncomfortable and had to do with feelings were considered bad. Thank you, 50s, 60s, and 70s, for putting that into our parents. But yeah, they've gotten a lot better. That's now actually going away with a lot of these. In 2000 and and later, a lot of that was going away, and nowadays a lot of that stuff is actually kind of considered hilarious. So.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually making offspring look like offspring, which is one of the problems I always had growing up. I was like, why don't they look like their? Well, they look exactly like their parents. How come they don't look like a combination?
Well, my favorite was The Incredibles. I like the kids. You could tell there was some stuff there from their parents, like just little general, but they didn't look anything like their parents. I mean, they had like some of the same colors, but for example, there's no other family member with black hair, so you're looking at Violet going like, well, okay, there's
Right.
some black, or Frozone kind of.
Well, to be fair,
You
Dash
know.
is pretty. Dash he looks exactly like he looks like a very younger version of his dad.
No,
Blonde
that's-
hair,
Yeah, but he doesn't look exactly like his
Yeah.
dad. Yeah, no, I mean it's there's some stuff there.
yeah, they did a good job of showing that's his kid.
Oh yeah.
And even Jack has was he brunette like mom, or was he a ginger?
Okay, who now?
Jack. I thought was he brown haired like,
God, I wanted to say he had an orangish color hair.
which I think also Helen had too.
Yeah, she had some auburn in her.
Or maybe, Mr. Incredible hooked up with Edna Mode with the black hair and all.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Listen to Violet's voice and listen to Edna Mode's voice.
I didn't think about that. And now that you've got that vision in my head, that's going to be hard to get out of there. Thank you. That whole. She's not even as tall as like a stair step. No. No. No.
Do I get the spray bottle? No.
Awesome, but no. Awesome.
Maybe Edna Mode because she is a very commanding woman
You-
of power.
You could say that Mr. Incredible was not only in the mood,
He was,
in the mode.
or maybe he likes it a la mode.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice, yes. Are we still appropriate for kids?
Oh, we're hitting the PG-13.
Okay. Not really sure what the rating of the show is. I just try not to be R, I suppose.
I'm gonna back away from this part of the internet because we're getting into some.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
There's times where I've been searching for stuff, and then I suddenly was like, "Whoa!" Back up, clear history. And I'm like, I'm fairly liberal about stuff, but there's still moments where you're like, let's just hope the FBI didn't see that. You're like, oh my god, I did not intend to be there. I didn't. Woo.
I'm looking at pictures of the teen angels and Captain Caveman, and suddenly I'm ending up with pictures of the girls from Totally Spies tied up in bikinis.
Say okay, I understand.
And I just looked up Captain Caveman Jr.
Captain Caveman.
Oh, there he is doing his shout. I love that picture.
Oh, it's just so everyone knows here. This is the. No, it's fine, hon. Just don't touch it.
I know.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Never mind.
No, I got it. Give me a second. It went away. There. There you go.
Okay, and I'm not going to touch it, are you?
No.
Okay. All right. These are the characters we're talking about. It's a fun '70s show. I mean, I like the whole '70s-ness of it. Great freeze frame. Again, I reiterate the inappropriateness of the show. He has no pants. He has no pants. He has no pants. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. I just, oh my God. It's a great show, but like, wow, you just hit moments where you're like, this is not right.
So I just found pictures of going into the Hanna-Barbera deep cuts now, the Super Globetrotters.
Oh, I remember that being fun as a kid.
Wow, I remember watching it going, what the heck, and never.
Of course, I was also a white kid out in the middle of nowhere, so...
I remember seeing, they didn't show it exclusively where I was at, but I remember seeing little bits and pieces of it here and there, and I'm just like, what the heck is this crap?
We gotta keep in mind, when you're just a kid that's out in the middle of nowhere, you're glad to have any kind of entertainment.
Oh, believe me, I know, but I like the Harlem Globetrotters, but that wasn't the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, no, the cartoon versions never were. It was like, remember that, Mr. T show?
Oh, absolutely.
I forget the name of it.
Yeah, Mr. T and the,
And the Teen Angels or whatever. Again, a show I'd watch.
And I guess the theme song is going to be forever stuck in my head.
And what I loved was his little sidekick was just this rowdy little redheaded boy who just wanted to beat the crap out of things. It was
I hated that kid so much. I don't know why.
He wasn't a great character. He was just funny because you were like, what's wrong with this kid?
Personally, as a kid, I never liked characters that tried to mimic their...
Yeah,
their
that's
people.
obnoxious.
And having Mr. T, and then there wasn't anything about the kid or who he was. It was just the fact that kid's personality grated on me because he didn't have one. He was just this annoying little kid that would sit there and I pay the food, trying to imitate Mr. T.
Yeah, that was one of the problems with that time period, is there were just certain kinds of characters that were just so hard to watch.
And the thing is, like, I don't understand. I understand what they were trying to do. He was trying to be like his hero. But when he had a team of gymnast kids that in a van once more.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The vans, man. But,
that's the whole thing that Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. was making fun of, where the world was, for inexplicable reasons, filled with teenage mystery-solving teams with a wacky talking sidekick that shouldn't be talking in a strange vehicle.
Well, to be fair, Mr. T didn't have a wacky talking animal, but the little redhead.
That ginger kind of counted.
Yeah, he had his little dog that also had the mohawk too.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yes, and the dog was just as rowdy as the kid. So it's like but that's what that was what got me, because he had the gymnastics team that rode with him. Everyone had the stereotypical personalities.
Wait. The gymnastics team was on the...
Yeah, they were Mr. T.
It was Mr. T and the gymnasts?
I don't know, that wasn't the name, but it was a gymnastics team.
But that's essentially what I forgot about the gymnasts.
Yeah,
it was a cartoon where Mr. T, was he the gym coach? Was he... Well, this is suddenly becoming so fascinating. I've completely forgotten about details of the show. It was Mr. T and a bunch of gymnasts.
Yeah, I watched it.
God, everyone was so stoned in the 70s.
It was just the Mr. T cartoon. Yeah, and it was a team of, like, gymnasts and... okay, let me see. Alright, Wikipedia, here we go. Animated series that aired on NBC on Saturday mornings from 1983 to 86. A total of 30 episodes were produced with 3 seasons, produced by Ruby Spears. Later ran on USA Cartoon Express. And then, more recently, a part of Cartoon Network Adult Swim, had programming.
Of course.
Yeah, Mr. T as a coach to a gymnastics team, traveling the world, becoming involved in solving various mysteries.
And pitying lots of fools.
Wow. The comic book and cartoon show had Paul Dini, Jack Kirby, and Neil Adams worked on it.
Oh, yeah, that's actually what was really great about some of those cartoons is you actually go like, who worked on this? This show is bull. And these people, you know, it's kind of like when you go back to some of the old cartoons and you don't think anything about them, and then you look at the credits and you're like, wait, what? It's like right now, the whole, I remember the Mr. T show. He was a gymnast coach. What? Like, I don't remember that.
I do.
All right, please, and this is not because I'm trying to be awful or anything. Tell me it was all teenage girls.
No. It was a full. Let's see, it was Mr. T, of course.
I would have been like, what are we just going to couple that right up with the Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels inappropriateness?
Let's see, there was the bus driver, Priscilla Bisbee, Jeff Harris, the wise guy of the team with the big ego, Woody Daniels, African-American gymnast and Jeff's friendly rival, voiced by Phil Lamar. Let's see, Robin O'Neill.
Phil Lamar, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Robin O'Neill, a beautiful blue-eyed redhead with freckles who's eager to jump into any situation. Also acts as Mr. T's second in command. Kim Nakamura.
She's particularly good at brass knuckles. in breaking fools.
Let's see, Kim Nakamura, Japanese girl who is the daughter to a computer scientist.
Of course.
And she has a photographic memory that comes in handy as she can remember various magazine articles and book passages.
Of course.
Including the issue and or volume and the page she read it on. I remember her doing that, yep. Spike O'Neill, Robin's little brother who worships Mr. T, the little annoying little brat.
That jerk. It was Spike O'Neill.
Yes.
They actually gave him an O name.
Well, he's Robin O'Neill's little brother.
Spike O'Knuckles.
Let's see, Sky Redfern, a Native American gymnast whose grandfather was accused of a crime. Do what you will with that. Garcia Lopez, a Latin American gymnast whose big brother Miguel is an archaeologist. He's a keen photographer. Vince D'Amato, an Italian American who has dreams of being a movie star, who has dreams of being a movie star.
Tell me, with this Rainbow Coalition cast, that somebody was in a wheelchair. We okay. Like, well, I was like, this is getting a little like too inclusive.
They were gymnasts. They couldn't be in a wheelchair. I hate to say it like that, but
well, no, I mean I got you, but there comes a point where you're like, no, I'm all into inclusion. It's just like, really?
That didn't start happening until until mid to late 90s.
But that's what I'm saying, is that's why I get kind of sensitive to that, because in the 90s it was so forced that it was repellent. You were just like, no, this is lacking sincerity. Look, it's okay to have a couple white people or 3 or 4 Hispanic characters. It doesn't need to be a perfect rainbow coalition of characters, you know.
See, and to round out the cast, Courtney Howard, an African-American girl gymnast whose father is a major in the military. Her uncle is a magician who was previously a burglar.
Say, you know what? I'm starting to get my favorite character already. That's wacky.
Grant Klein, an ex-gang member who turned his life around thanks to Jeff.
Right
and
on.
then Bulldozer, Mr. T's bulldog with a similar mohawk.
Bulldozer. Okay, I'm starting to remember this dog now.
He's called Dozer for short. Yep, I remember. Because he and the...
I pity the fool who don't like Dozer.
Yeah, he and the little kid would always run around and they barked and stuff.
Spike O'Knuckles. Oh, right there. Okay, yeah, I know. Okay, I'm remembering this now. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's that little jerk. Yeah, I hated him. I don't even recall. Oh, you know what? He didn't. Look, this is what's wrong with Spike O'Knuckles here. Is okay. You got the boots. You got the pants. You got the jean coat here with the ripped off arms, the gold and the feathers and the blah blah blah. He's wearing a tighty whitey T-shirt. Look. He's just not doing the image. He's not doing it right.
He's a kid. They can't show a little kid with bare chest in the 80s.
Well, yeah, because he'd be wearing the vest and the gold chains and stuff, you know, and then we give him ear piercings and give him the feathers.
No, they can't do that because that's imitatable behavior, honey.
Yeah, but he's a character that's doing imitatable behavior. He's like,
exactly.
He's like I'm completely forgetting his name. Knuckles, repeatable behavior, whatever the heck his name is.
What?
I'm sorry, I've had some coffee in me.
I'm like, whoa, dude, what?
I'm a little lacking on the focus at the moment. I think it's this Captain Caveman image where he clearly just looks unhinged and out of control. And I'm digging it. The more I'm seeing this, the more I'm absolutely convinced we need a new Captain Caveman show. It's just we need to give him teeth.
Yeah, I really wish that the Mystery Inc. people would have done that.
That would be amazing. You know, like I don't know, maybe even put it in the same universe as Mystery Inc. Like there was like another team on the other coast solving the other half of the mystery, and it was Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels.
Considering that in the originals, yeah, they actually did exist because they were part of Scooby's Laugh Olympics, so yeah, they were on his team.
Yeah, well, not only that, but Captain Caveman, wasn't he in one of the episodes? I remember they did no, he wasn't. He wasn't one of the ones. They had an episode where a bunch of the other mystery solving teams came on. No, I'm thinking the one with Jabberwocky. Jabberjaw.
Yeah, I'm like, Jabberwocky.
I got the first couple syllables right. I'm 40. Leave me alone. Stop looking at me.
Yeah, I think they did do a crossover with Jabberjaw.
Yeah, Jabberjaw's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, that was them, yeah. Yeah, well, strange enough, they never did one with Josie and the Pussycats, did they? I can't remember.
Josie's another good one. It was like Josie in the Pussycats was one of the kind of solid ideas because it was a little more normal. You know, it was a teenage band going around solving mysteries. Comparatively speaking, that was normal. But with Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, it was so weird. It was like, what? Why would you do that? For God's sakes, at least make the dude wear pants while being around teenage girls. I'm just saying.
Nope.
Nope.
Once again, it's Hanna-Barbera. How many characters actually wear pants?
Look, I'm not even going to argue that.
Like when you have characters where cuffs, the collar of a shirt, a tie, and a hat is considered formal wear.
Okay, admittedly. Yeah, I think the saliva I'm now adding.
That's looking really good. That's looking great.
The saliva makes it. The saliva is where we can tell his mental state. I'm not saying this is because that it's because he travels around with teenage girls. I'm saying this because I'm fairly certain he's mentally damaged, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. I mean that like he's clearly crazed.
That's all those years of being frozen. That will do something to your brain.
That's what I'm saying. That he's like Ram Man. There's something wrong with him. It's not that I'm saying that it's funny or I'm being mean to anybody. You watch the show and you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I should be sad. There's something clearly wrong with this guy. Captain Caveman.
Yeah, that's looking really good.
Okay. Alright. What I love is he has whiskers. I mean, like cat whiskers. That to me, like, kind of just finishes the whole thing off. Like, you're just like they're like, we'll give him a mustache. So like, he's already covered in hair. He's got a mustache. Then they're like, oh, well then give him a secondary mustache. Give him like whiskers.
Like fact that one just kind of curls for, like, randomly. that was cracking me up.
Yeah, I think I need to throw that into deeper dark. That is the face of stability right there. Get some saliva spray. He looks like a squirter.
Ew.
Well, you know, like somebody who just, you know,
I know they gleek you.
they leak and spray and shotgun saliva foam and
And still you.
probably smells like fermented wheat for no apparent reason.
What did Jim say that time? It looks like he smells.
Oh my god. That guy, he looks like he smells. It's like I kind of want to see just people like go in and do like just really crazy stuff with some of these old licenses. I think this one's ripe for it. I mean, Captain Caveman. I think it's probably pretty good for now. There we go. Oh yeah, check this out. I got one page left. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I might even skip over that one. It's going to be a little tough to draw on. I've got stuff taped to the back of my book here. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty decent. Oh, hey, Rosa, how you doing? All right.
I didn't see anybody pop on. What the heck?
That's all right. There we got some Captain Caveman action going on there. It's not bad. I kind of like my selection here. I'm trying very hard to do this. I mean, we got Project A-Co, and we got He-Man, and we got JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and we got Kim Possible, and Captain Caveman. Hopefully I can keep this up. If I could just keep like Russian rouletting like through the characters until one of them kills me. Anyways, everyone have yourself a good week. I will catch you all later. Not sure what I'm going to do next week. In fact, I'm fairly certain I almost never know what I'm going to do. Let's see if I can get my stuff in there. Okay. All right, Mr. Rogers bit. Almost done. Almost close. There we go. Haha, I did it. Okay. Everyone have yourself a good week, and I will catch you later.